Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot.
What are the emotions surrounding you missing your lover? The song we're looking at today is full of descriptions of how one would feel in such a situation. I'm your host Chi with Chinese Pod, and welcome to today's episode of Journey into Mandopop. The song we're looking at today was such a hit in China, and I think most of it could be attributed to how simple it is. It doesn't have a fancy title, and the lyrics are pretty straightforward. Also, the melody is written in a way that it could be very showy for the singer. Like, if you go to the karaoke parlor, you could sing your lungs out with this song. And on the topic of singer, the singer is called Meng Ran. This song is from 2013. And without further ado, 事不宜迟, let's go to the chorus. And you might be like, oh, I heard this before. "没有你 without you, 陪伴 accompany, 真的 really 好孤单 really lonely. Without your accompaniment, without you here with me, I'm really lonely." Without your company, I feel so very lonely. If we translate it into English, it does sound a bit banal. And it's also very straightforward in Chinese as well. And that's why this song is great for learning Chinese. Just two key vocabs before we go ahead and look at the song line by line. Verse in Chinese, it's called 主歌, 主 as in main song. And chorus, it's actually called 副歌, the auxiliary song, the not as important song. Basically the refrain, the chorus, the parts that repeat. So the song goes like this. 主歌一, verse 1, 主歌二, verse 2, and then chorus 副歌, and then 主歌二 gets repeated, and then 副歌, and then 副歌, and then 副歌, and then the song finishes. So for brevity, we're not going to play you the whole song, but we're going to look at the parts that appear at least once, namely 主歌一二 and then 副歌. "城市的夜晚，霓虹灯璀璨." You might know 城市, city, the of, 夜晚 is like 晚上. But 夜晚 is slightly, just very slightly, more formal than 晚上. One subtlety is that you can't say 夜晚好. You could only say 晚上好 for good evening. 城市的夜晚, the city at night. 霓虹灯璀璨. We might know 灯 is light, as in light with a light switch. So a lamp, it's also called 灯. But what's 霓虹 in 霓虹灯? 霓虹 could actually mean 彩虹, could actually mean rainbow. But in this case, it's neon lights in the city at night. 璀璨 is actually radiant, shiny. Also, we often use this 成语璀璨夺目 to describe something very radiant and eye-catching.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chinese Pod Trivia. Our first question is, how long will it take you to become an intermediate Chinese speaker using the Chinese Pod app? Is it A, the rest of your life? B, you should already be an intermediate speaker? C, 3 months? Or D, Chinese Pod has an app?
You should already be in.
Ooh, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, 3 months. That's right. Head over to ChinesePod.com now to register for your access to over 4,000 lessons. Get the Chinese Pod app now on Google Play or the App Store.
Why spend 2 lines talking about the city at night though? It is to juxtapose with the loneliness of the protagonist.
城市的夜晚，霓虹灯最在，点亮黑暗，赶不走孤单。
点亮黑暗，赶不走孤单。点 is a dot, is a point, but here it's to ignite. 点亮 to illuminate. 点亮，点亮蜡烛，点亮 candles. 点亮灯笼，点亮 lanterns during Mid-Autumn Festival. And here we 点亮黑暗，点亮 darkness.
点亮黑暗，赶不走孤单。
赶 could mean to hurry, to chase after, right? But here 赶不走, it's from 赶走. 赶走 is to expel. So if we add the word 不 in between it, then it means unable to expel. You can add 不 in between a lot of things. 带不走 can't bring away. 吃不下 can't finish the food. 过不去 can't pass through. Notice the word 不 becomes the neutral tone in here when it's in between the object and the complement. But what are we unable to expel? Loneliness, 孤单，赶不走，孤单。
城市的夜晚，霓虹灯最在，点亮黑暗，赶不走孤单。午夜和白天不停地交换，游走在街头，一个人孤单。
The third line goes 午夜和白天。午夜 is midnight. You might know 中午 as in noon, but 午夜 means midnight. The clock looks the same, but it's midnight. 白天 is morning. 交换 is to swap, is to exchange. So midnight and daylight changes non-stop. 午夜和白天不停地交换。
午夜和白天不停地交换，游走在街头，一个人孤单。
游走在街头，一个人孤单。We also hear the word 孤单 loneliness at the very end. 游走 means to walk around. 街头 is on the streets. So 游走在街头 is to walk around on the streets. 一个人 one person, solitary. 孤单 lonely. So the state of being solitary, lonely. 一个人孤单. You could also say 我一个人孤单 I, in the solitary state, am lonely. 我一个人孤单 you know, with a bit of sadness as well.
午夜和白天不停地交换，游走在街头，一个人孤单。节日的狂欢，情人给浪漫，所有的快乐都和我无关。
节日的快乐，情人的浪漫。I think many of us, including me, could relate to that. 节日 festival. The 狂欢 狂 is from 疯狂 from crazy. 欢 is from 欢乐 from happy. A variant of 快乐. And so 节日的狂欢 the happiness during festivals. 情人的浪漫情人 is lovers. 浪漫 is romance. So 情人的浪漫 the romance between lovers. So 节日的狂欢 情人的浪漫 the happiness during festivals and the romance between lovers. Why describe such a scene though? Well, it's basically the same logic as in 主歌一 as in verse 1.
节日的狂欢，情人给浪漫，所有的快乐都和我无关。
所有的快乐都和我无关。所有的 all of 快乐 all of the happiness 都和我无关 are all unrelated to me. 无关 unrelated. So like in first one, the first line describes the joyous scenes and the second line describes how I am not in any part of it.
无聊的工作让人很心烦。
无聊的工作让人很心烦。无聊 tiresome 工作 work tiresome dull work 让人很心烦。让 is to make 人 is people humans right so 让人 is making one 很 very 心烦。心 is heart 烦 is bothered so 心烦 is bothered making one feel very bothered 让人很心烦。
无聊的工作让人很心烦，我又想你了，你人在哪端？
我又想你了 should be very straightforward. I am missing you again. 你人在哪端 It would be kind of weird if we do it word by word. 你 you 人 person 在 located 哪 where 端 side and if we swap things around so the grammar makes sense in English it becomes which side are you physically located. The word 人 emphasizes the physicality of the person. Where are you physically? So let's say if we are meeting at 3 p.m. and it's 3:15 already and I call you and I could say 你人呢? If I'm really polite, I could ask 你在哪里? But if I want to be a bit more forceful, I could say 你人呢? Where are you physically? The word 端 means end, side. So by asking which end are you at? 你人在哪端? It adds to the poetism of the whole line. It makes the two characters feel further apart from each other. And of course, it needs to rhyme with 心烦, the previous line, with 哪端. This is a great rhyme scheme because it skips one line. 让人很心烦，我又想你了，你人在哪端？
无聊的工作让人很心烦，我又想你了，你人在哪端？
And finally, the chorus.
So you want to learn traditional or simplified characters?
Can I just learn to speak Chinese? I really don't want to write or read. It's too much for me.
Are you one of the learners that told us early on that you just want to speak and listen to Chinese and you think Chinese characters are way too complicated? Then I really think you should check out our new introduction into how to read and write Chinese characters. It focuses on simple characters that you encounter in a Chinese language environment every day. In 11 entertaining episodes, we set out to convince you that Chinese characters are actually quite easy, and we hope that you will soon share our excitement. Visit 88 characters on www.chinesepod.com/88 and give it a try. Or search for the first episodes on the Chinese Pod channel on YouTube. It's as simplified as that.
没有你陪伴，我真的好孤单，我的心好慌乱，被恐惧填满。没有你的日子，我真的好茫然，今天就像丢了灵魂一般。
The first line of the chorus is simply the title, as I've explained. 没有你陪伴，真的好孤单。Without your accompaniment, I'm very lonely. 我的心好慌乱，被恐惧填满。我的心 my heart 好 very 慌乱 flurried confused You might know 乱 as in messy, confused, and 慌 is panic. So 慌乱 is like being panic and confused at the same time.
真的好孤单，我的心好慌乱，被恐惧填满。
被恐惧填满 is the auxiliary word, making it become passive voice. 被恐惧填满is filled. So 被恐惧 fear 填满 filled with 满 meaning fully, so filled fully. So 被恐惧填满 be filled with fear. 我的心好慌乱，被恐惧填满 My heart is very flurried and is filled with fear. One great songwriting point here is that the word 满 fully is put on the highest and the longest note. 满 I mean, this just adds to the emotionality of it. Let's hear this again.
我的心好慌乱，被恐惧填满。没有你的日子，我真的好茫然。今天就像丢了灵魂一般。我没有。
The third line of the chorus goes, 没有你的日子，没有你的日子 Days without you, 我真的好茫然 I'm really frustrated. 茫然 frustrated. 今天就像丢了灵魂一般。今天就像 Today is just like 丢了 lost 灵魂 soul. And 一般 is same. So 今天就像丢了灵魂一般。就像的一般 is a very common sentence pattern. And in here, 今天就像丢了灵魂一般 Today is just like the same as losing my soul. I mean, it doesn't make too much sense in English. In Chinese, we add the word 一般 or 一样 to complete the 就像 sentence. So for example, 就像初恋一样 just like first love 就像初恋一般 just like first love
今天就像丢了灵魂一般。我没有你陪伴，我真的好孤单。我的心好慌乱，不知怎么办。没有你在身边，真的好不习惯。如果现在回头，会不会太晚？
So in the chorus, the tagline is sung twice. So that was the second time. The second time, the word 我 me is added to the tagline. 我没有你陪伴，我真的好孤单. So it adds to the emphasis of the first person, to how I am suffering because I don't have you next to me. The next line, 我的心好慌乱，不知怎么办。我的心好慌乱。I've already explained. 不知怎么办。Don't know what to do. And after that, it's 没有你在身边 without you beside me. Basically a similar meaning to 没有你陪伴, but now it's 没有你在身边 with 身边 meaning beside me, 身 body, 边 next to. So 在身边 means being physically besides somebody. 没有你在身边真的好不习惯 Without you next to me 真的 really indeed 好不习惯 Indeed very not used to it. So 没有你在身边真的好不习惯 The word 我 is implied here. 我没有你在身边 Without you beside me, I'm really not used to it. I'm really not used to not having you beside me. 如果现在回头会不会太晚？如果 if 现在 now 回头 turn around to go back. If I go back now 会不会太晚？ Would it be 会不会太 too 晚 late. If I go back now, would it be too late? We know the previous verse says 无聊的工作让人很心烦. The work is making me very frustrated. And so by saying 如果现在回头会不会太晚? If she's going back again, would it be too late? It's kind of implying that the girl has left the town where the guy is to go to work and unwillingly leaving her boyfriend. Let's go from the top again to the end of the chorus and see if you could appreciate the song even more.
城市的夜晚，霓虹灯最在，点亮黑暗，赶不走孤单。午夜和白天不停地交换，游走在街头，一个人孤单。节日的狂欢，情人给浪漫。所有的快乐都和我无关，无聊的工作让人很心烦。我又想你了，你人在哪端？没有你陪伴，我真的好孤单，我的心好慌乱。
没有你陪伴真的好孤单 was such a hit in China, and it's played everywhere, and I mean it, everywhere, whether we like it or not. And so understanding this song helps us understand more about contemporary Chinese culture as well. I've been Chi. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of Journey into Mandopop. Stay tuned for more episodes and we'll look at more absolute classics, beautiful lyrics, beautiful songwriting, songs that we grew up with, and songs that we nowadays listen to every day. I'll see you next time.
As usual, Chinese Pod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number 4331. So just go to www.chinesepod.com/4331 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again? www.chinesepod.com/4331.
Chinese Pod.